Alright guys, everything's a mess right now. um, yeah, because I'm going to do the 3D wildlife test. We'll do it with the Odin. Um, the Odin 3, the Konkr, and check in the Pocket S2 Pro. But this is, I noticed this right away. Same chip, right? CPUs are maxed out, but I just noticed this, and I'm going to look at the other cores too, but it's different. CPU 7 on the Pocket S2 Pro is only clocked to 3052. Now on the Konkr Pocket Fit, it's clocked to 3,302. And I'm going to see if I notice anything different, but I think the rest of the CPU cores are the same. So it's higher on the Konkr Fit, right? And if we go down to, I can't like, I don't know if we're in switch mode. Yeah. I can't make that any higher. So to be fair, you know, I don't know how this would be fair, but no, we're in switch mode, so I gotta do this. It goes up a little higher. So should we do it with this or do it with that? I think this is what the downfall is. That's nuts. I just noticed that this little thing could make a huge difference. Alright, we'll do it. Man, okay, we'll do it this way. We'll do it maxed out, right? Because, you know, and I'm going to put the, it's going to be in gaming mode, right? So the GPU is going to stay the same, but I'll put both of them on full speed for the fan, and I'll do the test. And then, you know, we'll see how it works out. That's different. That's might be what's hurting this, because I didn't think that this would be a thing after it updated with the GPU not locking. I thought that was a problem, but the CPU core on 7 goes up higher on the Konkr Fit. Why would they do that and not put it on the Pocket S2? Very interesting. Alright. Okay, so one test is still finishing up, and I don't understand the stability on this one. Pocket S Pro finished up. Okay, so let's go over it. The Odin 3 high performance with fan on customize, which is the max is what we use. That's all I pretty much can do. 93, this is what I expected. The Y700 beat this hands down with the cooling fan. It was a 97, and both loop scores were higher. So this isn't bad with just the fan. Okay, and it's a mini handheld in my point of view. 93, you know, the loop scores, it's not terrible, right? Like, you start off pretty strong, and as you go, you're gonna get a consistent like 5900, and towards 1718 we went just a little below 59, which isn't bad. So that's cool. Then the Konkr, same settings, right? But it had that one CPU core. We'll go just make sure you see this. So this isn't that bad. I don't understand why this is 89%. It's very weird. It goes up and then down, and then it went up a little bit. Maybe that's why. It starts at 4800 on loop 1, and then from there it just went down to 44, but then it went up to 4450, and then, you know, maybe that's why I got the 89, because it started off really high and then went down. But in my book, it's like a 4400 machine, which again is pretty much what the Evo gets, but you know. And then again, the Pocket S2 Pro did the best. It got the highest stability, high loop score, and lowest loop score. and there's no difference. Okay, so what I am gonna do is, obviously I'm show this off, and then I'm gonna do another 3D wildlife test on the Konkr Fit. Just so you guys can see this, like, okay, see it, because it's gonna go bye-bye. Go to settings. I'm gonna do another stress test on the Konkr Fit with the same exact settings, but CPU 7, I'm gonna clock down to 352 and see how it does. I think that might have been the biggest downfall. So, and I'll just upload that picture just so you guys get a better idea. I gotta turn the fan down to high, and I gotta charge this thing. So yeah, that's kind of what I figured. I thought the Konkr would have done better. As you can see, like, the stability is off, but it's more along the lines of the Evo than it is with the Pocket S2 Pro. The Pocket S2 Pro, I think, is in its own category with the G3 Gen 3, unfortunately. But I'll get to the bottom of it. Like I said, I'm gonna do another video, or I'm just gonna upload a picture. I'm gonna do another 3D wildlife test, stress test on this thing, right? The only difference is we're gonna go to device settings, we're gonna go to performance. Everything was the same except this last CPU core, for whatever reason, is clocked higher on the Konkr Fit. So what we're gonna do is, switch mode. We're gonna go here, rotate it down, and then we'll leave it there so it's exactly the same. I kind of wanted to do it this way, but I wanted to see if we get more potential with that last core being, maxed out a little more. And it is a lot more. It's 3052 versus 3300. So we'll turn it down. The settings are exactly the same. Fans in full speed, gaming mode, everything's the same. GPU frequency is locked. So we're gonna close this out now. And I gotta do this all over again. And we're just gonna leave it on its own. And we're gonna hope for the best. The Odin 3, 93 is what I expected. If we want to increase performance, we could add thermal paste or something. I'm not doing any of that. It's cool on its own, I don't expect it to, use the decent amount of power too doing that. So, just leave it in smart mode. And I could already tell, like, just from the frames per second, it starts off like really high. So I think might cool it down by turning that CPU 7 down. But why not? Like, who would have caught this, right? The only reason why I caught it is because I have both the Pocket S2 Pro and the Konkr Fit. So hopefully with these settings, and again, the fan is on. Oh, I messed it up. I just want to make sure. I'll do it over again. Doesn't matter. The fan's on full. We're in gaming mode. You know what? And to be fair, I'll do this. I'll put the screen in 60 hertz. But again, like, that shouldn't matter. No, I'm not doing that. I'm keeping it at 144 because that's the whole point of this device. So let's start over again. And I guess I'll film this too. We'll see. But I'll see you back in 20 minutes. Okay. So we finished that test with turning on the one CPU 7 core to match the Pocket S2 Pro, and our scores went up and stability went up, but the Pocket S still got over 5,000 and a 95. So I'm not exactly sure what's going on with the Konkr Fit, but it performs slightly worse than the Pocket S2 Pro just from these 3D wildlife stress tests. I'm just bringing it to your attention. You could take it for what it is, but the stability went up a lot. Well, not a lot, but 89 to 91, it did go up just by turning that one CPU core down. but it's just so weird that see, it's more of a straight line, so it's a Evo now basically. Forms better than the Evo with the highest loop score, but I got a 97 with like the 4000s. It was just under the highest loop score, but had a higher stability on the Evo. I could look it up. Let me turn that fan down low. I might have time to do another stress test. I just don't know what to do with the Konkr Fit as of right now. Because, like I said, this CPU core down here goes up higher. If we click it, it goes up to 300. I don't know why they did that. Because our loop score, our stability went up a little bit, right? The fan was in full speed and it was in gaming mode, which means that my, you know, frequency for the GPU is locked at 903, which again will help with stability because we're not maxing it out. What I can do is, we can go up here and then put it in max mode, and I'll put the fan on full speed, and we'll see what scores it gets then. It's just weird because I don't think it's gonna do much better than this, because the stability is what we're looking for, not the highest loop to the lowest loop. We want the closest highest to lowest. And I don't think max mode's gonna really do that, but we'll do it anyways because I know people are interested. So we'll go back here. We'll do it again. Go up here. If it crashes, it crashes. Put in, and also like reducing the refresh rate does not matter. Yeah, it's gonna do that. But I turned down the brightness. We'll run it in super max mode, and we'll see what happens. In the meantime, though, I am charging the Pocket 2S Pro. But yeah, going back to the, is it better than a Snapdragon 8 Gen 3? Well, we could just go off based off, Geekbench at least. And I did both. I did it's in OpenGL, should did it in Vulkan, so I'll run it again. But let's see history. So we'll do multi-core. So multi-core, highest 2000, da da da. For single core, multi-cores, but single core, we beat the Samsung Ultra 24 with the 8 Gen 3 with a 2.3 gigahertz, got higher than that. Multi-core, we still got higher than the Samsung Ultra 24 8 Gen 3. Not by a lot, but we beat it out. And then if we go to the GPU side, this was Vulkan, so and I'll do it in, this is OpenGL, we'll do it in Vulkan. Still got higher, or is this single core? Is this not GPU? That was January 4th. Yeah. I'm assuming this is the GPU. Yeah, CPU. Oh, I'm sorry, I had it wrong. CPU, still higher. Multi, still higher. And then oh, I still did CPU. Alright, let's do GPU. We'll go here. And we'll do it in we'll do it in Vulkan. We'll run GPU. I don't know. I really don't know. I don't know why this gets a better score. It's the same chip. Maybe because it's longer. I don't know. It's much heavier than the Konkr Fit. It's got metal in it too. And I figured that the fan was slightly smaller, but maybe because of the design, there's better airflow to the chip. I have no idea. But I wasn't expecting this because it's kind of like all over the place when for potential loop scores. We'll look at the Evo. Let me see if I can pull it up. I know I took a screenshot of it. I just gotta find it. It's probably in pictures, screenshots. No. There we go. Is this it? It's been a while. Yeah. So on the Evo, I did take a screenshot of it. This was after I undervolted it. So the Konkr Fit did a little better with like the highest loop score, but the lowest loop score for the Evo is higher than the lowest loop score on the Konkr Fit. And again, our stability was the 97.5%. That's with undervolting, that's with a thermal pad, yada yada yada. But I didn't think we had to do anything to these devices to get, better stability. But the GX3 Gen 2 is no slouch. Like when you soup it up, you soup it up good. And also, I think my Pocket Ace, if it's on, there's our GPU score, so that's good. Yeah, I gotta turn it on. We'll look up the score that I got on this, because I just don't want to have to do this over and over again. But the Konkr Fit is in max mode. So anyways, so our Vulcan score, so we might not be better than the Samsung. Well, yeah, I guess we are. And Geekbench is not doing like this kind of stuff. It's just doing like more of like a phone type deal. And we still beat out the Samsung Ultra 24, the 8 Gen 3. By a decent amount with our GPU. So we'll put Geekbench on the Konkr Fit. That should be similar. That shouldn't be much different, if not better, because it's not doing those kind of stress tests, doing a different kind of stress test. But it still outdoes the 8 Gen 3. So people ask, it's like, well, yeah, it was again designed for gaming, so it's gonna outperform in certain tests. I didn't think it would outperform the 8 Gen 3 a lot by the GPU, but yeah, I mean it does by several thousand points. It's 15, and what do we get? 17 or something? Oh, we gotta go to history. No, well, you just rewind the video. I think it was like 17 something. So if people were interested about that, yeah, it does perform better than a Gen 3 than a cell phone, but it's a cell phone. This thing has a built-in fan, and it also has it's customized for gaming, so GPU is definitely gonna be a little better. CPU and multi and single core were better, but not by much, just by a hair smidgen according to this app. So take that with a grain of salt. And the Konkr is on the 7 loops, so hopefully this video won't be too long. Let me see with the Pocket Ace. Okay, let me look up the picture. The Ace did better than the Evo, believe it or not. So right there, that should tell you something. You don't need to do anything to the Ace, and it's a mini device. Awesome. Pictures, screenshots. This one? No. This one? Yeah, this one was crazy. So I did this on November 21st. I just undervolted it. That was it. And look at that, 99. This isn't the Evo and the Ace are not in max mode at all. They're in the gaming mode with the GPU locked, and it's exactly the same because they're both the same. It's not like the Konkr and the Pocket S, where the Konkr has a higher CPU 7 clock score, which is nuts. There's an update. You know what that means? It's gonna take away my saturation. Oh, damn you, Neo. But before we go to that, we'll go to device settings. So performance I have for the GX3 Gen 2 is the CPUs are maxed out. My gaming mode that I did this in at the time was, let's see if this is A, yeah. It was probably like here. It wasn't there, It's either this one or this one. And I'm thinking because the stability was so good, I had it turned down to this one. But I'm not sure. November 21st, we're already in January, so it was a long time ago. I'd have to retest this one. However I did it. But I put up pictures and everything. So what's crazy is that CPU 7 goes to 3360. And the cores on here are very similar to the Konkr. If we go here, and we open up our little menu and we go to settings. This thing has a 10,000 milliamp battery, so it takes a while to charge, like, so don't want to unplug it. But so it's got 1, 2, 3. It's got 3 cores that go over 3000 and then 4 cores that are like just under. And then with this one, it's got 2 cores that just go over 2000. No, 3 cores that just go over 2000. 1, 2, 3, 4 cores that get close to 3000 and 1 core that goes up to 360. Now on here, it goes up to 330 something on the Konkr, but not on the Pocket S2 Pro. The main core on here goes to 300 or 3360. I think it's similar to that on the Konkr, but I think it's 3300. I'm not exactly sure. I'll have to check, and I don't want to mess that up right now. But it's all very interesting. Again, like, props to ANEO for having this type of deal. If we go to system update, it's gonna update this, and I'll show you guys. But let's close all this out. Right now, like, you see how saturated it is, and I'm using this app. This app's gonna lose all performance once I update it, depending on if it's a system update. So let's go to it. It should just do it like automatically, but here, we'll click on it. Yeah, the settings, watch. We'll do this one first. And then I'll lose my root, but you know, it is what it is. This one might prompt for like a restart. But maybe not. Maybe we'll still be able to keep color blend. Let's go here. Rainbow. Okay. Vibrant, which we like. Close out of it. Alright, we're able to keep our root on this one. Thank God. Because the screen is good, but I just have it a little more oversaturated. The one app I do like to use doesn't work, but that one does when it's rooted, so that's why I'm using it. Man, I love this thing. Like, again, ANEO is ANEO, but they do make good devices when they work. And Ace, I gotta say, by far is the best device out of the box. I didn't get it personally from ANEO. I had it bought it off Facebook Marketplace, but it was basically new. They're just like, I don't need this. I don't know why I bought this. I think they were getting something else. And again, the CPU 7 here, only on the Pocket S2 Pro, goes with the 3052. And on CPU 7 on Konkr Fit goes higher, which is nuts. So max mode should default it to max it out. I did put the fan on full. So we'll see if max mode is better on the Konkr Fit than it would be on here. If I do the test again and I put this in max mode, it'll get a higher score, but the stability will drop, like probably to like 93, 91, something like that, which is typical because we're maxing it out. It's not going to be able to keep up. So you want to find that sweet balance, and I kind of did on the Pocket S2 Pro, but I didn't know that this CPU 7 was different than that one. That might be a factor. The build quality might be a factor. Again, this costs a lot more money. It's like $200 more than the Konkr Fit. So we'll see. You know, that just sucks. This might be the ultimate G3 Gen 3 device with a 60 Hz screen. And there's no impact on performance with these kind of tests. With reducing the Hertz to 60, it's not going to get a better score. To make it equal, it shouldn't matter. So there's no impact. Other than it would drain the battery faster, but I don't think that's going to affect the loop scores. I really don't. So we'll see what happens. We've got a couple more minutes to go, and then we'll see how the Konkr performs in max mode, see if it does better. Obviously it will, but are we going to go to the 80s with stability, or are we going to be able to keep the stability like 91, whatever, but get higher loop scores? That might be actually worth using max mode, so we'll see. Alright, so it's about done. I think we have one more minute. So we'll see what it gets. I mean, I am excited, but I just know that max mode is great for, you know, power and everything, but it's not my go-to. It's not like leave it in max mode and forget about it. It's like an emergency mode. And tweaking max mode would just be any other mode that I have on here for the performance. It's just really turning down the GPU, because that's really gonna maybe help this out because it's running at 2K and it's trying to see how many frames you could get. You know, it's 1080p screen, but it's gonna just cause less stability. And yeah, not bad. So in max mode, with that CPU clock maxed out higher than the Pocket 2S Pro, we were able to get, I guess, a maybe similar performance to the Pocket S2 Pro, but with less stability, with the lowest loop score being 4500, highest being 5000. It is what it is, boys. Kind of makes sense because it's a budget device. Whatever they did to this, they left out some things that they put in the Pocket S2 Pro. And I'm not sure exactly if it's just the design or whatever. It's still on its own without, you know, being undervolted, which maybe, hey, I might do that in the future for this. It performs just fine. It does eat the battery though. Let's put that in like gaming mode, and hopefully gaming mode is on high. There you go. So yeah, I mean, I am kind of curious now. I'm gonna have to look into this, so I'll keep you guys posted. I'm gonna charge this thing up again, and throughout the week I'll look for hidden details. Maybe there's stuff we need to do without taking it apart, because I said this thing, taking it apart before, might be a bad idea because it's not built with the most durable backplate, and as you can see, like, it's not completely flush. I don't want to take it apart if I don't have to, so I'll see what I can do. But one last time, I just want to show you guys the difference, and that I noticed that this clock goes up to 303.02, and on the Pocket 2S Pro it only goes up to 352, but the Pocket S2 outperforms it with stability and loop scores being just slightly higher and better stability with the same setup. You know, if I do it in max mode, this might win versus the Pocket 2S Pro, but I think the Pocket S2 Pro is going to get a higher score somehow. So I don't know what's going on. I really don't. What I can do with this is adjust my gaming mode and maybe turn this down to 834, save it, and we'll go to balance mode, because we have that higher, you know, CPU working that I just realized. Turn this down to 770, and then eco mode, you know, we could turn it down to 720 and just keep it like that, and maybe we could get better stability with better performance with a lower GPU, because that's all I could think of, but we'll see. Either way, thank you so much for watching, guys. Have a fantastic rest of your day. Take care.